Hi guys, it's Belle here, and this is the second video working on the little pumpkin storage rack for my Oddtober daily tags. So last time we left it, we had inked all of this up in lots of yummy colours, done some embossing on it, done some stamping. We also chose papers, we inked around these, we stamped, we did splatters, we made them grungy. That's all good. Now in this one, we're going to be working on the side of these. Now I had an idea for this. Let me bring you down a little bit. I had an idea of adding some foliage to the side because, you know, we had some foliage in the tags, and we've got stamping foliage on here. Now theoretically I could just leave it like that. Am I gonna? No, I'm not. So I've just got all my leaves here, and they're not really inked or anything, which they should be. So I'm going to get some gloves on because my hands get so messy when I'm inking. And we are going to just ink up, trim, glue, stick all these good things down. Let me grab my scissors. And that's kind of what we're going to do today. I think I mainly want them, I could just do the black. Just a little bit. I didn't want to pre-ink them all because I don't know if I'm going to use all of these die cuts or not. And I don't want them being pre-inked in black when the reality is I could use them for another project where it would need a different colour of ink to be inked with. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up using a lot of the ones in black anyway, because a lot of the projects I do use grungy colours. Now obviously I'm gluing the whole of this and there's holes all over this, but I don't know where those holes are going to be, so I just want to add some foliage to this. Trim off. I have to make sure nothing really goes over these holes. I mean, I can do, because the things that slot into it, let me grab them, these, they only slot, they don't poke out. So I mean, you can still glue things over them. There's a lot of glue on that side, isn't there? I mean, we'll deal with that afterwards. That's what we'll do. And let's grab another plant. I just felt like I wanted some plants on here. Because again, we've used them a lot. It adds a bit more detail. It may be, oh gosh, sorry. It may be overkill, but that's what, I've got to clean the nozzle. That's what we do here. And once again, as I've said over the last few days, if a project doesn't work out the way you want it to, that's okay. And also, I brought another one. So I do have a backup if I don't like the way this goes. Again, I want this to blend in on the side. I know some of you are probably like, you can't even see that, Belle. Why are you adding them? Because I want it to blend. I really do. We're going to bring in a bit of brown. I'm trying to work out where I want the brown to be. I might add it up that way. Yeah, I just want it to blend. I want it to be grungy. I want you to have to really pick it up to have a good look at all the stamping details and all the gluing, all the little inks and embossing, and that's what I want. So I'm going to do that. I'm also have a plan to add a bat on the side that sticks up like that. This is one of these metal Tim Holtz ones. I think that looks quite cute. I have one for each side. So I want that. See, that brown just kind of adds. And I don't want them everywhere. Like, I don't want the plants absolutely everywhere. Just in some places. So just want it to have that kind of feel as if the plants are growing up it. Now I've just done that. If I bring that down a bit, that could grow across there. Or do we want it coming this way? That might be quite nice, mightn't it? Yeah, we're going to do that. So that's what I'm going for. Just lots and lots of plants randomly put. So sorry if you can hear that in the background. My neighbours have decided not to do building work, but to play the piano. It can be quite nice to listen to, but I just get worried in case they start singing and playing a really well-known song and then YouTube says you cannot upload this video due to copyright issues. So that's what I worry about when they start doing it. Because obviously I'm working on something. I want to be able to upload it. So, yeah. Now, as I said, there's going to be a lot of glue peeking out, but that will dry fairly clear and we're not going to see into the side. So that's not really going to be on display in a way that's going to bother me. So where do I want this to go? I feel like I want this coming in too, but do I want it at an angle or do I want it about there? Maybe there, maybe up. Let me just take my gloves off a minute because sometimes it's easier to place these when I don't have my gloves on. But obviously this one's already inked. That's helpful. Feel like maybe it is just about placement now, guys. It's about what looks right, what's calling to me, all that kind of thing. You just have to go with. I feel like that needs to be maybe there. That's what I feel. So, yes. And what I might do is I might finish this off because you're just going to see me like adding lots of leaves to places. And once you've seen me do it a few times, you don't need to see me do it a gazillion more times, do you? Don't know if I want that kind of there. I feel like there should be more here. That's what I feel, but I don't know if it actually does need more or if I'm just thinking, well, there's only two, so let's add a third. Like across there. Do you know what? Two might be enough. Two might be enough. Even under there, maybe. Okay, I feel like I like it under there. I knew I wanted something somewhere. So let's do that. So I am going to finish up this one. I don't think I'm going to add too much more to this one. I think one or two is perfectly fine. Like just these few. I think that gives a really nice effect. And we can still see enough of the spider web. I was wondering if I wanted to add, because I have some of these little black spiders. I'm sorry if you don't like spiders, guys. But I've added them in certain bits. And obviously we're going to put the bat on. But I was wondering about adding a spider to the spider web. If we've got the bat, I might even ink the bat up. I don't know. Of whether we want to add a couple of spiders here or there. I'm just playing now with the idea. Why have all these ones got a bit of black on them? Like that could be over there. We could have one over here in the web. I don't know if it needs those. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off the leaves on the other one and then work out if I want any more on here, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, I finished gluing. You can see that. I know they really blend in, but that is the look that I'm going for. The blending. And I wasn't going to do this, but I've decided I am. I'm going to splatter them because I think it'll tie it in with the pumpkin heads at the front. And also, I just think it'll give, as I've said, that extra little dimension. Because I'm using the Winsor Newton ink, Indian ink. Because of that, I get really fine splatters rather than the chunkier splatters you can sometimes get with, I think I need to add a bit more ink, that you can get with acrylic paint watered down. So I am enjoying using the Newton ink. I'm just unscrewing it, adding a little bit more to my palette. This palette needs a good scrub or needs to be replaced, one or the other. So yeah, you get thinner splatters, which works for me because I like splatters, but I don't like them too chunky. Let's pick this up. And whilst that was drying, my neighbours stopped playing their piano for a little while, which, you know, makes it easier for me to film. Okay, so I don't want too much. Let's grab those out. Let's do that. Let's just show you those now with all the splatters. Doesn't that look just yummy? It looks delicious. The splatters, the plants, the embossing in places. I'm loving it. I really am loving it. I'm wondering if these look a bit boring now compared to it, but I don't think so. I don't think these need too much more. So let me dry that. Okay, that's now dry. I really do love this, but I was wondering about the embossing and I've had an idea. Now, I don't want to do too much to the front of these pumpkin heads, mainly because I don't want to overdo it. I quite like them muted like this. But I was wondering if we brought in a tiny bit of the embossing, just a tiny bit. Now, obviously, I've already got some stamping on here, but if I get my Versamark embossing pad and then bring on just a little bit more, so it almost looks like the stamping is the plant in the background, and then we can just add a little bit of the Tim Holtz Vintage Photo Distress Glaze. To bring that on. Let's have a look. I only want to do the one because then if I really don't like it, I only have to do one on the other side. And then if I do like it, that's great. I can add another one, but I only want to do one. So let me heat that. Okay, so I've heated that and you can see it adds like a darker shade of the brown. And I really, really like that. So I am going to add a little bit to the other one too. So let me do that. Because I feel like I want it maybe further up here. Let's really press that down. And that one's like that. And then I do want to bring in the other one we were using. The other stamp. I know the Tim Holtz Dabber also works really well, guys, but I really like my Versamark pad. And to be honest, I've had this pad forever. I can't remember the last time I replaced it, and it's still going strong. So as far as I'm concerned, it works better for larger surfaces. So we've got that one, and now I just want to add another bit, and I'm going to bring this one in to these, and then it brings in that little bit of embossing that is also on the side. Let's just make sure the pad is closed. After saying I've had it for ages, I don't want to leave it open. Oh, there's a chunk there. Okay, let's get this away and then heat these up and see what it looks like. I'm pretty sure we should just need the 2 bits. Okay, both of those are now done. So you can see the stamping and the embossing. I just love that one kind of up the side there. Okay, so we've added a bit of the embossing. Excellent. Now what I'm thinking is, these are dry, that's dry. Now I feel like it's time to fit them all together. That's what I feel it's time to do. So these should slot in here. That's what I'm hoping. Obviously, once again, I've painted these. So let's see if I can, you know what, it's really hard to see and even get them anywhere near where they're supposed to be. Is that going in? Okay, it should just fit in, but it's being a little bit naughty. So that side's gone in. Why won't you go in? Come on. There we go. Ah, do you know what I didn't do? I didn't glue, did I? I did not glue them on. So now I'm going to have to take them off anyway. Let me take those off and glue it. Okay, I had to trim down the edges again. You can see where I've used my craft knife on those. And I'm really hoping that that actually helps. Because, yeah, I'm just really hoping that helps the situation. Again, I painted this, so, like, it is what it is. I want to try and fit these in now. Again, trying to do this on camera is not the easiest thing. Aha! Got it. I don't mind that there's glue coming over the edge there, because that's going to have felt on it anyway. Got it. Perfect. Right, let's try it on here now too. I want to do both sides. I hope it does fit, because now I've put glue on here, this will be a bit of a problem to try and, what's the word? This works better this way. For me to be able to see where it needs to go into. Ha ha! Yes. You need to really go down. Sorry if that knocked the camera, but there we go. Okay. So we have our base-ish. Okay, and now I need to find the one that I wrote on. I think it's this one. Yeah, it must be this one because there's only one way that these go. So I think this was like this. This is what I'm going with. I don't know. I don't know, guys. We're going to see if it can fit into any of these. Ugh, I don't want my head in the camera, obviously. And I know I haven't glued these, but it's because I'm making sure this is the one that it's meant to be in. Right, I think that will all go in. Okay, let's glue. Let's go for it. Obviously, a lot of the glue is going to squidge out. Let's bring you up a little bit because then it's not so in your face. So let's try to get all of this fitted in. Obviously, when you haven't painted it, these are a lot easier to fit together. That's all I will say. You're not wanting to go in. Come on. You know you want to. Is that in yet? There we go. That one hasn't gone in. Why have you not slotted in? Why have you not slotted in? Neither of these wooden ones are slotting. Okay, rather than see me fight with this, I'll do this off camera. Okay, so that was a battle of the wheels. I won. But what I realised was these end pieces that go, so the two bottom ones here and here and on that side, that go into the pumpkin head, I hadn't trimmed those. This is what it's looking like, guys. What do we think? I kind of love it. I do kind of love it. Even if it did cause me constant stress. I mean, I wish I could kind of show you it. It's really hard, but kind of, you know, all in all. And now what I thought I'd do before we start the next part, or maybe not, I was going to add the bats, but they might take time to dry. So I wanted the eyes to light up, but now I'm looking at it and I don't know if I do want the eyes to light up. I think I kind of like it with the light going through it. Let's think about this, because what I want to add along the top, actually, I may have to add the bat. Do you see how it doesn't stay still now? It rolls because it's a pumpkin, and pumpkins roll. What I want to do is I want to add the Crypt Grit paste, and I wanted to add that kind of along the top here. I wanted to bring in some of that beautiful yummy texture, maybe a little bit down there. And again, this will dry in a way that it'll pick up the inks and it will kind of go clearish, because obviously we've got all that embossing and stamping, and you're probably like, Belle, why? Just why? But it's what I wanted to add. I'm going to add it in different places. Going to bring in more texture. And then let that dry, pick up some of that colour, pick up the crypt paste that I love to use anyway and that I've used in lots of the projects. I'm leaving a little space there because I want to add the bat, and that won't be great to try and glue onto the crypt paste. So yeah, so we're going to come on and do that. Okay, let's try and pick this up, shall we? I'm so glad I brought another one, although considering how often we've used it in these projects, kind of wanted to do it across the top there too. Ooh, there's a bit. Considering how often we've used it in the projects, I think it's lasted us. It's lasted really well. I don't know if it'll go across the top, you know. I'm going to try. I'm going to pat it on in places. I just want the texture of it and the look of it and all that good stuff. Again, we've got the bat. Might be able to do it behind the bat though. It's just on the front that it would be a problem. So yes, we're going to add this now. So I do apologise with these tutorials have been a bit chaotic, but I really didn't know where I was going with this. It's the first time I've done anything like this. And actually, it's probably good for you guys to see that, you know, things don't work out perfect all the time. Sometimes you got to really think on your feet and just fight with the project. But I'm still liking how it's turning out. So, you know, I love the grunginess of this. Now, I don't know if I said already, so excuse me if I have, but I'm not actually going to write Oddtober on here anywhere. Mainly because, yes, it's going to keep my Oddtober tags in, but I don't know if I will then do something different with those or want to use this in a different way afterwards, like, you know, later down the line in a couple of years or a year or whatever. I don't know. So I don't want to put Oddtober on here just in case of that. Obviously, if you were to do something like this, you could obviously put Oddtober on if you wanted, but that's not really what I want to do, as I said. So I was thinking of writing it on the front, like around the pumpkin's mouth or something, but yeah, then I just realized it gives me more versatility or flexibility, whichever way you want to do it, if I don't add it onto this. If I instead, obviously I've got the tags, and I may make a tag for the front of this that says Oddtober. So I need to think about that, but right now I'm thinking about this. I'm gonna love this once it's finished. Do I want any along the bottom? That's the question. don't think I do want it along the bottom. I think I just like it at the top, actually. So I think I like it just up here. Yeah. I just want it to not be on the inside because I don't want it interfering with the tags. So I need to grab all that off. Let's add a little bit more here. And I think, I mean, we have less on this side, don't we? On the top, I'm on about. So I might bring some more in over there. But I think that's it. Now I'm going to have to leave these to dry before we do anything else because, yeah, the crypt paste has to dry. And I am going to glue the bat on. Now, it may be a good idea to use hot glue for this, a glue gun, but it will stick with this glue. I just have to get it on there first, and then I'm going to clamp it on so that it will dry alongside the crypt paste. And then when we come back, everything should be dry. I'm leaving the little ears sticking over the top because I think that looks quite adorable. Let's grab another clamp. And then this will hold and dry. What do we think so far, guys? I'm wondering about bringing in some of the crypt paste on the front here. Maybe on here. Like just up the top. Okay, let's do it. Because if we're going to do it, we might as well do it. Sorry if that face is freaking you out because it's just kind of staring, isn't it? We might as well do it while it's all drying. Almost like the stalk. Oh, no. Do you know what would work really well on there? I'm going to take all that off and put that back into the pot. Do you know what would work well on here, guys? Crackle glaze. That's what's going to work on there. So let me get that. Instead, where is my crackle paste? We're going to bring some of that in. I think that would look nice on the front. Oh my gosh, if I can open my pot. We're going to bring in some crackle paste. This one, guys. Because it does go translucent. So we should be able to see some of the stuff underneath. And I just want it in places. I just think that'll add another element of interest to, oh, got to remember, to the front. And I don't know if I'll ink it or not, because you can use alcohol inks, obviously, and I have done in places. Feel like, do I want it down here? We've already got something down here. Let's just add a little bit here and over to here. And I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side, but obviously right now I need to wait for this to dry before I turn it over. But I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side of the face. These are going to dry, guys. And once these have dried, then we can finish up. So everything has now dried, and can I just say, guys, I am in love. This is why I love Crypt Grit paste. Do you see how it's picked up the colours of the inks underneath? So this is got the browny green over here. Then we have a darker green where the black's been picked up. We've got all the splatter. We've got our little bat, which is great. Let me turn that over and look at this side. It looks almost like rust. Do you see that? Isn't it just divine? And I love that someone's come down on the web. I mean, it's just scrummy. And now let me show you. So obviously we added some crackle paste. I'm hoping that's picking up. Let me bring that up so you can see here. You see that? And we've got it all up here. Again, it has picked up some of the ink below it. Let me show you the other side. But if I'm honest, I want a little bit more. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in a little bit of this ink. I'm going to bring in some of the Vintage Photo first. And I want to dab it like this because I want more control over the ink itself. And then we're going to spray it a little bit. And I'm hoping it will get in those cracks. That's what I'm hoping. And then I'm going to come on and dab. Yeah. See, it's showing up the cracks a bit more. And obviously that will dry a similar colour to the ink underneath anyway. So it's looking really bright right now because it's still wet. And I also, where's the other little bit? It's here. I also have some here that I want to add it to. I honestly, guys, I'm so happy with how the Crypt paste dried. I mean, this is why it's my favourite of the texture paste. I'm going to move that over. And again, just come on and dab it. Because I don't want too much. I just kind of want it in those spaces, in the cracks. I've also got the cracked pistachio that I've been using throughout as well. You can use the, what's it called? The crayons, is that what they're called? Let me have a look. Yeah, the distress crayons, you can use those too. I don't use them that often. I probably should. They would work really well. Okay, I'm going to dry this side because we're going to turn it over and I don't want that on my table. So there we have. Can you see how much brighter those cracks now are compared to the cracks there that we haven't really got a lot? Yeah, you can use these crayons if you have them. I don't use them that often. I need to start using them more. That's going to be one of my goals for next year, I think. Right, I feel like I'm doing surgery. Right, I can't even see what all the cracks are on this one. Yeah, it just gives me a little bit more control. It's not going everywhere all over it because obviously we've already got ink on here. Just need to see where I've added some of the crackle glaze. All here, actually. This is probably my most used oxide. This and the black soot one are my most used ones. Again, having a pipette would work better, but I couldn't find my pipette. So we're doing it the slow and steady way, and that's okay too. Okay, let's spray that and then add some of the green. And just dab in places. Because I'm bringing off too much. I just want it settled into those cracks. Coming back in with some of the cracked pistachio. Pistachio. I love pistachios. Honestly, if I see something and it says, "Ooh, pistachio," I'm like, what's that now? Let's check that out. So let's just add a little bit of water. Get it in those different bits. I feel like it needs more. This might have to dry into it a bit more. Because I like that. Okay, let's move this. That's really gone green there because of the what's it called? Vintage photo. Okay, let me dry that. Okay, so there we've gone. Because obviously I dried it the way I did, the crackling has then gone a bit milky. But again, I don't mind that. I don't mind that look. So the last thing we have to do is we have to stick the felt. Sorry if you don't like that sound, guys. It's a bit like nails on a chalkboard. Sorry about that. We have to stick the felt down into here. So let's do that. Let's move it over. Really press that down. It's going to take a few minutes to adhere because I used this glue, which will stick the felt, but my fabric glue would have been better. But this is the glue I grabbed. Okay, let me just clean that bit of the table down. Okay, so here we have it, guys. Our finished grungy. I just honestly, I love the way these sides turned out. I was still debating the spiders, but I really don't think it needs it. We've got embossing on the front as well as the crackle glaze and some inking. What I did notice, can you see, I put the pumpkin faces on the wrong way. I'd obviously painted them the wrong way and not thought about that. So it looks like this now. You see with the stalks. But I don't mind. That's like not a big issue at all. And let's just remind ourselves that this is what this looked like. It was just this plain wooden pumpkin basket. And now it's this yummy, delicious, grungy thing. I mean, it really gives me the feels. Obviously, you could do this for any decoration. You could just do it to have as a Halloween decoration. You could just use this technique for small wooden pumpkins and things to hang on a tree or something. You know, there's all that. But I did do this with my Oddtober daily tags in mind. So let me grab those. So I haven't completed all the tags yet. Well, I have, but you haven't seen the video, so I'm not going to put them in here. But this, I mean, just look at how well even those go together, guys. these are my Oddtober daily tags. I'm not going to go through them in detail. If you haven't seen any of these tags, do check out the Oddtober playlist that I have. But, oh my goodness, guys. These fit in so well, and I can look at my tags. Let's make sure that's down. That wasn't down all the way. I can look at my tags. Don't look at this one. Just look, other than the orange, at how well they go together. Yes, that fits in there. I can look at my tags and enjoy them. This one always has to go at a slight angle because of the shutters for the window. And yeah, they all fit in there, and don't they just look, doesn't it just look delicious, guys? Doesn't it just look yummy? And because of the Oddtober, the theme and the way my tags are developing, I really wanted this to look super grungy, almost like you could have found this rotting in a tree house out in the middle of the forest, because obviously on the Oddtober prompts this year we are in a tree house. I feel like this really looks like it could have been found rotting in a tree house. Mold and damp and all that good stuff. And I just think it looks absolutely delicious. So, I don't know, guys. I hope you got some inspiration from this. It was all a bit of a trial and error. I mean, that's going quite milky in the light, so I might actually go over that with some more ink. This one's not too bad. I don't even know which one I want as my front now. I do think I might want this one as my front. Yeah, I love the way it works with the tags. I just love the basket. I really enjoyed doing it, even if sometimes things worked and sometimes they didn't. Even if putting it together once it had been painted was a bit of a pain. But we went from this plain basket to this delicious, grungy, mouldy looking. Although obviously it's not mouldy looking. But it just, oh, it's giving me all the feels and vibes, and oh, I love it. So I would love to know if you have been inspired to do something like this, or if you've made something like this before and might have other tips for me that I could do if I want to do another one, because obviously I do have this other basket and I have the skull one, and obviously this one's been made specifically for these tags so that they can be kept on display. I was wondering actually about adding tiny bits of moss, but I think that would be too much and also it would fall off. So yes, I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for requesting that I do this on camera. I hope it lived up to some of your expectations a little bit, and 2, for watching. So please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. I deeply, deeply appreciate it. And wherever you are in the world, guys, just for another few days, I hope you're having lots and lots of spooky, crafty fun. And don't forget to check out the final Oddtober daily video where I'll show you the final 3 tags, and then this basket and its goodies will be complete. Bye for now.